say the least.
I thought that was me chasing Joe Torre on the infield fly rule game. It was the same conversation.
Yeah. He was a lot more calm in that instance. Not that night against the Dodgers years ago. Cellini, Dimino, the fan.
Bad if I threw that at him and say, hey, Joe,
no.
You ever see one that's been called so wrong that you had to lose your mind?
I don't think that
I wouldn't have been out of line.
No, I don't believe so.
Because that's what happened here during the infield fly rule.
Chipper's last game, right? They lose to the Cardinals. It's the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
Fix it, Joe. I was going down the hall. Fix this, Joe. Fix it.
Hopefully the Braves will win tonight and sweep the Colorado Rockies. 7:20 first pitch. The Ford leadoff show here on The Fan comes your way at 6:05. The X-Platform question of the day, the best piano and or organ, I guess in this instance, solo of all time. What is it? The X-Platform brought to you by Harrah's Cherokee Casino and Resort. Hey, don't forget The Fan is the college football voice of the South. Chuck and Chernoff tomorrow going to be broadcasting from 2 to 6, $3 Cafe in Kennesaw, and the Fan promo team going to be there as well with some autographs and memorabilia. You get a chance to win. They're not going to sign things Chuck and Chernoff, but, famous athletes. Come by and enjoy Atlanta's best wings and coldest beer tomorrow. $3 Cafe in Kennesaw, 2700 Town Center Drive, northeast near Town Center Mall. The game day plan for this Falcon is now in place. We'll get to that in less than 5 minutes.
Punching it in from the goal line. This is the drive into the red zone.
By the way, the 11 o'clock hour brought to you by the fine folks over at Finley Roofing. Kirk Cousins is hoping that his offense, which banked almost 5,000 reps, they say, over the offseason dating back to the OTAs, can execute what he is calling, Chris, the 4 E's. And those 4 E's would be explosion, edge, execution, and effort. Remember those? Because there will be a quiz later on in the program. Will you remember the 4 E's?
No. I liked him a little bit more before he said that. That seems a little too kitschy for my quarterback. He's 35. It's not high school. I'm a little disappointed in it.
But I think, in his defense,
Go ahead.
he's dealing with a lot of young players that are dealing with a real quarterback for the first time. So you have to teach them because they don't know any better. I mean, they played with 2 stiffs.
What did he have? All the young guys repeat after him? Execution.
Yes, like French class. Bonjour, Guy. Boom. After the tone, you have to repeat.
Yeah.
On va à la plage. Yeah, that's what he had them do.
I don't like that. I have a lot of good NFL stuff today, including, not because it's the spread. Hey, are we doing picks this year?
No.
I know we're not.
No,
That was the most rhetorical question.
Why? Because nobody cares.
Nobody cares. But I am going to make a pick for tonight, and I've got a reason for it as well. Because the NFL does kick off this evening.
Indeed. Baltimore takes on Kansas City in Kansas City. Matt Ryan was on with the locker room this morning. You can hear the fellas 6 to 10 weekdays here on The Fan. And he says, don't expect anything too flashy from this Falcons offense to start the season.
I think you just have to find, the handful of things during training camp, right, of what you're doing well and emphasize that early on and then continue to build as the year goes on. And so I think particularly when you have, new weapons, new quarterback, new coordinator, first-time play caller, all of those things, I think you need to start simple and run the football, get into that play-action pass, which is what they're going to want to do, and then trust your defense. It's a defense that played really well. They added some pieces to that this year. I think you've got enough talent to where you don't need to be overly complex. Let's find what we look like as an offense, moving forward.
Matt had a couple of years here. And again, nobody wants to talk about it. Look how many plays we have. Well, I don't want to turn it into USC, sweep left, sweep right, student body left, student body right. I don't want to turn it into the Green Bay Packers. We run over this tackle's ass or that tackle's ass. But you can get bogged down in trying to prove you're really smarter than the room. I will make a bet with anybody right now, and this is not a eat blank bet. I'm not eating anything.
You're not going to eat poop out of a cup.
No, we have the poop wars that have continued. I'll give you some. I'm not kidding. I'll give you proof of that coming up later. I think on the first or second play, I would wager, if you gave me a number on the board, that they're going to play action and he's going to rip it deep.
Like they did early with Matt Ryan.
They're going to do that for a number of reasons.
Is it going to involve Kyle Pitts because he's got a hamstring injury? He was limited in practice yesterday.
I say no. Buck got on him today. Again, that's why does the information have to get out? Why do I want to tell anybody? Unless I'm okie-doking, why do I want to tell anybody? And by the way, I'm a little disappointed in my coach, Raheem Morris. You know how Mike Tomlin said, Justin Fields, you better be ready. I can't keep that lion in a cage, whatever the hell he said. Raheem Morris should have said, oh, yeah, Michael Penix. What do you see the package we got for him? Just throw it out there.
Right.
Who cares?
Let everybody,
it's just a game.
Let everybody think it's going to happen.
Right.
Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. But either way, the Steelers have to prepare for it.
Anybody wants to bet me in the first or second play, they will play action and he will throw the ball deep. Their corners are a little bit shaky. Their DBs are a little bit shaky. And if you really want to, especially coming out of the gate to get this crowd, whatever's in the building early, fired up, I do think there's a time that you do something for that type of event.
Well, that is up to Zach Robinson. He says, incidentally, that he is going to be calling plays from upstairs. He says he did it in the preseason, did appreciate that vantage point, and, of course, this is his first season actually calling plays as a coordinator. We go back to what Kirk Cousins thinks about his new play caller.
I think he does a good job of innovating. I think he also does a good job of having an identity and not just pulling plays from out of nowhere, but actually having a system and an identity while also being creative, which is an interesting balance to find, but the great play callers find it. His calm will always stand out to me. That's a good balance for me, to have somebody who's pretty steady
screaming in his ear
and doesn't ride a roller coaster. I think that'll be a demeanor that will help our offense to kind of have poise in the noise, if you will.
So that sounds like the polar opposite of the guy that was here for the last 3 years in Arthur Smith.
Yes.
He did none of those things.
No, and a quarterback, just even listening to the quarterback. I got a grown man. I got an adult. I'm telling you, here's the other thing. They want to do that early in this game because there's not a sheriff in town. It's not a new sheriff. It's a bunch of new sheriffs. We're a different team. You come here, you're going to be entertained. Like the 15-yard penalty that you might get if you hit a quarterback just a tick past the whistle, a receiver coming over the middle, I don't mind it. Again, I'm not talking about a headshot. I'm talking about going and getting a guy down early where you can whip your own crowd into a frenzy where they believe we got a real quarterback. Drake London's interested. Kyle Pitts is interested. Hey, that's the Bijan Robinson I kept hearing about. All of those things can happen very early in this football game.
And if you want to go to the game and be entertained, hopefully you will with the Falcons' victory. And you're also going to save some money because the beer hot dog combo at Mercedes-Benz Stadium is the lowest combined price in the NFL at $7.49. $5.49 for the beer, $2 for the hot dog. The polar opposite is what's going on at Lumen Field in Seattle. $19.98 for a combined hot dog and beer. $11.49 for the beer, $8.49 for a hot dog. That's worth 5 cents.
I'd say I don't care, but the disparity is so big that I will give them props. Now, if you don't win enough games, if you don't go to the postseason, I'm back to I don't care. I care as long as you're winning games at home when you're buying the less than $8 hot dog and beer.
It does add to the winning, right? It's fun and it's cheap.
Yeah, relatively speaking, it's extremely cheap.
You got a lot of nerve charging $8.49 for a hot dog. You got some nerve.
Isn't that just the parts left over from other stuff? Isn't that sort of what a hot dog is?
That's why I don't eat hot dogs. Yeah. I don't know what they're made of. I don't believe in them. And I still think about them getting boiled in my house way back when. Falcons and Chiefs, we know, is going to happen a couple of weeks from Sunday. They're going to go to Philadelphia after this game against the Steelers. And then will Taylor Swift be here is the question everybody is asking.
What's the date?
For Sunday Night Football. It is September the 22nd.
Is that pre-breakup date according to the contract?
It is. It's 6 days before their breakup date. She's also going to be on a break from her Eras tour. And the tickets for that game are starting when you go to the secondary market at $175. All other games start at $70 for the Falcons. So
I might see her. I might get to tell her, I love your music.
So I'm going to go to a game and I'm going to pay more because somebody's going to be in a suite that I may or may not see.
Hey, the NFL put her in that hype video 5 times, which is 4 times more than any player that was in that hype video. So not shocking, not surprising.
Chiefs and Ravens open up the season tonight. Your thoughts on the defending world champs?
So I believe, and this is location, I believe Kirk Cousins is the biggest free agency or pickup for anybody in the NFL. Because I went from having people who can't do the job to a guy who can. Does he stay healthy? Does he do it extremely well? I don't know. But in terms of changing the fate of a franchise, I'll look at Kirk Cousins, and I'm sorry, I'm not a homer, but I understand where I live, but I tried to look around the rest of the NFL. Is it Saquon in Philadelphia? Not as big as this, and on and on and on. I came to that conclusion. My number 2 in that category is Derrick Henry. Ravens win the game tonight. Derrick Henry has not, in his X amount of years, 7 or 8 years in the NFL, he'll never see a defense set up the way he's going to see a defense because of Lamar Jackson. He's never seen where people aren't in the box going, got to take him down, got to take him down, got to take him down. He's 30. I get that. He's had a lot of carries. I don't know if anybody's going to benefit any more than Derrick Henry being in a different place.
So you are picking the Ravens to win outright tonight in Kansas City.
Yeah, I think. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 other things. Quarterback preseason rankings, I saw Kirk Cousins as 16th. And I don't really care who's in front of him or who's behind him. That's out of line. He's better than the 16th best quarterback in the NFL. He just is. I saw the top 10 running backs, one of the fantasy guys. Bijan Robinson's not in the top 10. You know what I did? I said, I'll never read anything you do again. I put his name in my little notebook.
I think he forgot about him. He just overlooked him because there's no way he cannot be.
Well, he
in
started
the top
with
10.
McCaffrey. What do you think? He got to 6 and then just sort of gave up and pulled names? Again, I don't need to read him anymore. I feel very good about that. I'll never read this guy again.
Either he's stupid or he was in on it. Either way, he is out in the eyes of Chris Dimino. The Eagles and Packers play in Brazil tomorrow, and if you think it's crazy, get used to it, says the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell.
2 historic franchises playing in an historic game. Their first in Brazil. So to us, it is making a statement. I'm glad you read it that way. For us, we want the world to know we're coming, that we're bringing football. Our clubs have agreed to play up to 8 regular season games. We have expectations that we'll go well beyond that. We think we'll be at 7 next year. We're already going to Spain next year. We'll be back in Mexico, I hope, by next year. So we're really excited about where the future is for us on an international basis.
So he's pulling a Ric Flair. Whether you like it or you don't like it, learn to love it.
Well, I don't know if the players are really up for this, but I do know that they're going to pay him more money. I do know that you're getting whatever it is you get to go there and say yes to it. What's the NFL's game plan here? Or do you want, look, if you're going to tell me we're going to do an international league, I believe that. I believe that. Not a supplemental league, not the XFL, not the UFL, not NFL Europe. We're really going to do something for the rest of the world. You don't need to be sending guys all over the world. I'll say it. Nobody else will. This is dumb. This is dumb. You're playing on Thursday night, Friday night. Then you're going to tell me, well, the good news is they travel, but they get an extra couple of days. Okay. We'll see how that goes.
Listen, I don't agree with it either, but apparently it's going to keep happening.
Minimum of 7 games. Minimum. I got a number for you. Do you know what they say people are going to bet on the NFL this year? How much money? What do you think the number is? According to, listen, I'm not telling you they're right.
Legal wagering. Legal online, mostly wagering. $30 billion.
$35 billion. $35
I'm playing it
Are you going
straight
to give
today,
Nick some
Chris.
credit on that? Because that's by way better than anyone expected him to do.
Thank you,
right there.
Derek. I appreciate your support.
You're right.
Kind of a backhanded compliment.
Only being $5 billion off. That's the closest he's probably
I mean,
ever
for
been.
me,
right.
everything's relative.
I agree with that. So I realized, it was Maurice Jones-Drew. He fancies himself as a fantasy expert. Running back index, week 1, predicting NFL's top 10 leading rushers for 2024 season. He doesn't have Bijan Robinson
Well, he should
in his
know
top
better.
10.
He played that position. He lived it. That's why it's so disappointing.
It's like crazy talk. I'm looking, I'm going, where is he? Where is he? Hold on, maybe go back. Then I spin back up. Oh, nope. He's not in the top 10 according. You know what I do now, Reese Jones-Drew? I'm out. I will never read another piece.
I must cut you loose. You brought up Christian McCaffrey. The next time he does catch a touchdown pass, he will become just the 3rd NFL player in history with 50 career rushing touchdowns and 30 career receiving touchdowns, joining 2 Hall of Famers, Marshall Faulk and Lenny Moore. And that, one would assume, is going to happen maybe to start the season for the San Francisco 49ers.
Did you also see Goodell at the U.S. Open the other day? You don't watch the U.S. Open, but he was there. He was in a box. It doesn't matter. He was there with Roger Federer, and they were talking. I know this is a me thing. I'm just going to say this. He's holding a stemless white wine glass. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to be my commissioner. I don't want him to be my commissioner.
He's got to have a beer in his hand, right?
Yes, of course he does. Of course he does. He's got a stemless white wine glass.
And I see
And I'm watching this now. I'm like, yeah, that's good tennis. What are they doing up there now? Show them again.
And I say you have a beer in a can in a koozie. I mean, let's go all out here.
I'd rather see him do a funnel shot. I'd rather see him funnel. He's holding a stemless white wine glass. My mom used those in the 70s. That roundish sort of, oh, look. He's not my commissioner.
He does not speak for Chris Dimino.
I got another one. Who's the smartest man in the NFL this year?
The smartest man in the NFL.
Yeah, who's the smartest man in the NFL?
Gosh. Andy Reid.
Nope. Kylan Granson. He plays for the Colts. He's
never gotten that.
He's going to be wearing the cap. You know what he said? He's going to be wearing the helmet. Concussion resistance guardian cap during games. I want to inspire kids to think that health and safety is also cool. But here's the line that got me. At one point, people thought seatbelts were effing stupid. He's right. He's right. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll raise my hand. I was one of those people. Come on, I'm not going to wear that. It wrinkles my shirt. I'd rather be launched through the windshield if somebody hits me. I mean,
I'll take my chances.
I might as well have just said that.
I'll take my chances. When you identify me and put a toe tag on me, tell my family I loved them.
But he's right.
He's the smartest guy in the NFL. And I love the fact that he said it. And did you see what Crazy Harbaugh has done in... I got a lot of NFL stuff. He's got a 300-pound defensive lineman who's playing fullback for him. The kid caught 2 touchdowns at Boise State. You got to see this guy.
I saw him. He's really a defensive tackle. He's listed as a fullback. He's really a defensive tackle.
Jim Harbaugh is going to put this guy in the backfield. You know it and I know it. This guy, he honestly looks like... I don't want to... If you go look at this guy, it looks like they took him out of the woods.
Yeah, he's got the full beard.
Not willingly.
Got the dirty face.
Right, not willingly.
Because he's got the eye black on, but
yes,
it's like smeared all over his face.
Right. He looks like something that got pulled out of the woods.
Now, you wanted to play a cut from Troy Aikman as well?
Oh, yeah. Troy Aikman's got something to say about quarterback play in the NFL, and here it is.
You know, I should put together a highlight reel of the worst hits that I took, and you would think that these players would probably have been banned from the NFL, and there was not even a penalty on the play. So, yeah, it's changed a lot for sure.
Because he would stay in the pocket. And he wasn't leaving that pocket.
Nope.
And he knew the hit was coming, but he also knew that 17 yards down the field, someone was going to catch that pass.
But he was never going to catch a penalty for it. Like, he was never going to say, I'll stay in the pocket. At least we'll get a free 15.
He's not exaggerating. Go on YouTube and look at some of the hits he took over the years.
And that's one generation of football ago. Now, again, what did it lead to on social media? People talking about Tom Brady having all the breaks. And I would say you're right. Relatively speaking.
I think Tom Brady would say that.
Yeah, Tom Brady got all the breaks. The evolution of the game, though, was one set of quarterbacks, one generation of quarterbacks before this generation was that guy.
I mean, he blew out his knee, Tom Brady, because he got hit low, and that became a penalty.
Yes,
so,
it did.
yes, he got all the breaks. Yes, he did.
Did you also read the article that I read? That's, the Fox guys were patting themselves on the back because when they got Tom Brady in a room to pitch him working this year, doing what he's doing, I swear to God, they're so proud. They're like, you know what we did? I'll tell you how we opened up the first meeting. We had this highlight package of him, and we showed his greatest plays. We said, you could do this again in this career. Let me tell you why he's doing it. $375 million to sit in your ass and look at a computer and then sit in your ass on game day. That's more money than he made in his entire career. He made $317 million in his career. He's rich, but these guys are all backslapping themselves because they said, you know what they showed him? What do you think they showed him? What do you think they showed him? They showed him his first game, 28-3. And then they pitched on the idea of, wow, if that part of your career is done, think about how you can be a winner in this part of your career. The whole time I'm sitting reading this going, the only thing Tom Brady wants to know is how much.
It's just people trying to justify their jobs, justify
but they
their
called
existence.
it a Hail Mary pitch because we didn't even know if he wanted to do it. So let me ask you, your little video highlight or $375 million, what do you think might have ruled the day?
I think the latter and not the former.
Yeah.
So I think the money won him over, not the highlight package. Don't forget the 680 Harris Cherokee Casino Tailgate Central Dirty Bird tailgates are back. From what I understand, an entire pig is going to be roasted at this upcoming free tailgate this Sunday from 10 to 1 at the corner of Marietta Street and Centennial Olympic Park Drive. I've been told that by the powers that be on the other side of the building.
Has anybody told the pig yet?
No one, I don't believe, has told the pig yet. The pig is always the last to know.
Is Mike Key responsible to bring the apple?
I think so.
Yeah, don't forget the apple.
Yep.
It is not a pig roast unless you put an apple in it.
The drinks are free. The music's free. The pig's free. Download your free tailgate ticket now at 680thefan.com/tailgate central. But you got to be 21 or older with a proper ID to enter. Yes, sir.
I've been to a couple of these. What's the deal with putting a pig like in its shroud of pigdom and putting it in the ground like that? What is that? And then they shovel hot stuff on top of it. Why?
As a member of a fraternity that did a pig roast every year, it helps the heat surround the pig. It helps the pig on the spit cook faster. We did a massive pig roast every year at my fraternity.
Yeah, I've been to these things.
We put sunglasses on the pig, a hat.
Right.
The whole deal.
We put a cigarette in its mouth.
The whole deal. Got to do that.
Well, we asked for its, and we put a bandana on its eyes.
I'm sure.
Just asked him for any last request.
I'm guessing the pig's going to have a Falcons hat on when all is said and done.
I did that with lobster too. Is that wrong? Where you put a cigarette in its mouth right before you dump it?
No.
Okay. I
don't think so.
I am told the pig died of natural causes.
And now,
but I just don't understand.
This is the way the pig would have wanted.
Everybody is so excited when we put the pig in the ground, like in its shroud.
Mm-hmm.
You guys we're going to keep it there for 3 days.
Yeah, because that's when you know things are getting serious. Huge thanks to Harris Cherokee Casino and Resorts, Be Strong Bottled Water, Evan Williams, Zero FG Energy Drink, Corona, Deep Eddy Vodka, The Long Drink, and EncapsulateUSA.com for their sponsorship. Well, for all the things he's done already, Bill Belichick has finally done the unthinkable. And we'll tell you all about it next on Cellini and Dimino. It's The Fan 680, 93.7 FM, and for free, The Fan app.
Tonight, the Braves are back in town as the final month of the season begins. As the Braves take on the Rockies at Truist Park.
Mike O'Hara's going a long way back. He leaps. Oh, my! Snow cone catch. How did he hold on to it?
The Fan's flagship coverage starts with 680 Game Day just after 5:30, only on The Fan and the Fan app.
DirecTV and DirecTV Stream customers, you've lost ESPN, including college football, Monday Night Football, ESPN Sunday Night Football, baseball, Sports Center, and more. Take action now. Call 844-KEEP-MY-ESPN or visit keepmyespn.com.
This hour is presented by Findlay Roofing, Atlanta's most trusted and recommended roofer, whose work comes with a lifetime warranty. To fix your roof problems, call Atlanta's roof closers. FindlayRoofing.com.
Listen, I'm not your real dad, but I can give you a piece of advice. If you think what you're going to do someday is just run to a casino and take every dollar you've ever had and throw it on red or black and go, I'm going to double my money today, and that's your plan for the future, I would just suggest don't do it. I have a better plan. It's called Invesco. Invesco QQQ's ETF. Your ability to bet on the future by betting on the future is the way to go. This is the 100 companies that NASDAQ has said they're doing the best, most work, most apparently the things that we're going to see in the not-too-distant future. These are the companies that are developing it in their R&D department. Invest in all of them. You're looking for a couple of hits, and you know what that means? Whoop. Up it goes. Arrow up, more money in your future with Invesco QQQ's ETF, the exchange-traded fund that allows you to invest in 100 companies.